Okay, so this video is going to give you a basic introduction into the idea of the indifference curve. So the indifference curve is really one of the least intuitive ideas that you've come across so far in microeconomics. You've looked at the budget line, you've watched that video, pretty straightforward. But when we start talking about the indifference curve, it requires a little more kind of thought. Okay? So the definition of an indifference curve is all the combinations of two goods that represent the same level of utility. So here we have an indifference curve. We're looking at combinations of broccoli measured in pounds. So again, we're looking at physical units. Artichokes, also measured in pounds, on the x-axis. Okay, so again, our context, our set of axes are simply based on physical units of the good. So we have a curve here just representing an indifference curve. We don't have to worry at this point what the level of utility that is represented by this indifference curve. All that you have to know first is all the points along this indifference curve represent the same utility. So if we're at point A, that represents one combination of broccoli and artichokes. So you consume those that combination of broccoli and artichokes, and you feel a certain level of utility. You have a certain level of well-being. If we chose a completely different combination of broccoli and artichokes, so less broccoli, more artichokes, well, since they lie on the same indifference curve, that means that they represent the same utility. So the way we feel about the combination at point A is exactly equal to how we feel about the combination at point B. Okay? So as you're moving along this indifference curve, the only thing that's changing is the combinations of broccoli and artichokes. The thing that's staying the same is the level of utility. Okay? So that's first basic idea. So what does it mean if we can change how we feel about things, right? If we consume more of a good, we generally feel better. So we could say, okay, at point A, we have this combination of broccoli and artichokes. We feel a certain way. Well, theoretically speaking, if we wanted to, let's say we fix the amount of broccoli. We're not going to change the amount of broccoli. So we're going to increase the amount of artichokes. So we're just kind of randomly choosing a higher level of artichokes. I will say this is point C. Okay? So how do we feel about the combination of broccoli and artichokes at point C compared to the combination at point A? Well, it's the same level of broccoli, but more artichokes. So the only thing that's changed is that now we're consuming more artichokes, therefore we should feel better. So that means the combination of point C is preferred to the combination of point A. So theoretically speaking, we could come up with a new indifference curve through point C. So we've kind of derived this idea that as you move away from the origin, as you move to the northeast, our indifference curves are resulting in higher levels of utility. Okay? So again, we could map out D, point E. So because C, D, and E, because those combinations of broccoli and artichokes lie on the same indifference curve, we feel exactly the same about those combinations. We are indifferent to them. If we have C, someone could give us a combination of E, and we'd swap them because it wouldn't make any difference to our level of well-being, our utility. But we know we would prefer combination E to combination B. We would prefer combination D to combination A because it's on a higher indifference curve. It represents a higher level of utility. Same thing goes if we move towards the origin. Any combination of the broccoli and artichokes that's on this indifference curve, such as combination F, would be less preferred to A, B, C, D, or E. Okay? So again, this is just a general idea, a general introduction of what the indifference curve is and how it fits together. Remember, our definition is an indifference curve represents all the combinations of two goods which represent the same total